There is a version of you that is stronger, calmer, and completely unbreakable. You've felt glimpses of that person before. Maybe early in the morning when the world was quiet, or after a long walk when something heavy in your chest finally lifted. You felt it, that quiet power rising inside you. And then life pulled you back into exhaustion, distraction, and emotional weight you never asked to carry. What if the path back to that version of yourself was simpler than every self-help book ever told you? What if the Stoics discovered something about the body and the mind that modern psychology is only now beginning to confirm? Most people are searching for healing in all the wrong places. They look outward for validation, for comfort, for someone to finally understand their pain. But the ancient philosophers looked inward, and more specifically, they looked at the body as the very first battlefield of the mind. If this already feels familiar, write "my body knows the way" in the comments right now. Because what you're about to hear isn't just philosophy, it's a map back to yourself. Two things are going to change for you by the end of this video. But what most people never realize is the suffering isn't always coming from your circumstances. Have you ever noticed that even when life looks fine on the outside, stable job, people who care about you, no obvious crisis, something still feels deeply wrong? That heaviness that sits in your chest without a name. That quiet exhaustion that sleep never fully fixes. Most people blame their environment. They think, if things were different, I'd feel better. So they wait. They wait for the right moment, the right relationship, the right version of their life to finally arrive and rescue them from themselves. But what if the real problem isn't what you think? What if the wound isn't in your past, your relationships, or your circumstances, but in the disconnection between your mind and your body? The Stoics understood something radical. Marcus Aurelius didn't just write philosophy, he trained. Epictetus, who lived as a slave, carried himself with a dignity that confused everyone around him. Seneca wrote about the importance of physical discipline, not as vanity, but as a form of mental sovereignty. Something else is quietly causing the damage, and it has nothing to do with weakness of character. It has to do with a body that carries tension you never released, emotions you stored in muscle and bone, and a nervous system running on survival mode without permission. The longer you ignore this, the deeper the disconnection grows. And there is a cost to that distance between who you are and who your body actually needs you to become. Keep listening. The answer begins with a story. Lesson 1. Movement is the original medicine. Marcus Aurelius woke before sunrise every single day. Not to conquer, not to perform, but to return to himself. He wrote in his meditations that the body in motion is the mind in conversation with itself, a way of processing what thought alone cannot reach. Consider what happens inside you when you sit still in your pain for too long. The thoughts circle. They repeat. They grow louder. But the moment you stand up, walk outside, feel your muscles engage with the resistance of the world, something shifts. The thoughts don't disappear, but they lose their grip. This is not coincidence. The Stoics believed the rational mind could only function fully when the body was disciplined and engaged. Not punished, not pushed to extremes, but moved with intention, with presence, with respect for what the body is actually doing for you. Can you relate to this? That moment mid-run, mid-walk, mid-workout, when a problem you couldn't solve suddenly becomes clear? That's not luck. That's the ancient wisdom your own nervous system already knows. Your body was never meant to be a container for unprocessed emotion. It was built to move that emotion through. Yet this is only the beginning. What comes next is where everything changes, because most people stop here without understanding why it actually works. Lesson 2. Discipline of the body creates peace in the mind. There was a man, a modern man, not ancient, who had everything the world told him he needed. Career, comfort, companionship. And yet every morning he woke up feeling like he was slowly disappearing. He started running. Not for fitness, not for aesthetics. He started running because standing still had become unbearable. 3 months later, people in his life noticed something different about him. Not his weight, not his appearance, his eyes, the way he carried silence, the way he no longer flinched at difficulty. Most people never discover this connection between physical discipline and emotional resilience. They treat exercise as a vanity project, a punishment for eating, or a productivity hack. They completely miss the deeper transformation happening at the level of identity. This is where many quietly fail. They start moving but never commit long enough to feel who they're becoming. They abandon the practice before the practice reveals its true gift. The Stoic principle here is askesis, deliberate, voluntary hardship chosen not to suffer, but to strengthen. When you voluntarily make your body uncomfortable in controlled ways, you train your mind to believe, I can endure. I can adapt. I am not fragile. Ignore this and the damage continues. But stay with this, because the next lesson goes even deeper. Lesson 3. Your body remembers what your mind tries to forget. Have you ever felt anxiety for no clear reason? Tightness in your chest, tension in your shoulders, a jaw you didn't realize was clenched until someone pointed it out. You aren't imagining it. Your body is storing something your conscious mind decided to set aside. The Stoics called this proeresis, the faculty of choice, the inner citadel that cannot be touched unless you abandon it yourself. But here is the part they also understood that most people miss. The inner citadel has walls, and those walls are built in the body. What if the anxiety you experience isn't weakness? What if it's information your body has been trying to deliver for years, waiting for you to be still enough or disciplined enough to receive it? But there is something even more dangerous than ignoring this truth. The danger is believing that healing is passive, that rest alone will restore you. That time by itself closes the wound. It doesn't. The body that carries unprocessed grief, anger, or fear without movement becomes a prison. And the prisoner eventually forgets there was ever a door. Physical exercise is not about transformation of the body. It is about liberation of everything the body was never meant to permanently hold. Keep this in mind, because it becomes critical in the lesson ahead. Lesson 4. Voluntary hardship builds the unshakable self. Epictetus said that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And he was right. But he also knew that imagination becomes reality when the body has never been tested against real resistance. There is a reason people who exercise consistently report not just physical improvement, but emotional steadiness, clearer thinking, reduced anxiety, and a quieter relationship with fear. This isn't motivational storytelling. It is documented, repeatable, and available to you right now. If you're finding real value in this, subscribe to Anonymous Achiever, because the next insight may completely change how you see yourself and what you're actually capable of becoming. Here is the curiosity gap most people never cross. They want the mental benefits without the physical practice. They want peace without presence. They want the harvest without ever entering the field. The Stoics were not romantics about this. They were precise. Seneca wrote that the mind and body are partners. Weaken one, and you compromise the other. Strengthen one deliberately, and you fortify both. Most people wait until crisis forces them to change. Very few choose the path before the storm arrives. The ones who choose early, they are the ones who stand unmoved when everything around them falls apart. And that choice begins with something remarkably simple. Lesson 5. The body is your first argument against helplessness. There is a subtle lie that suffering teaches you. It whispers, you have no power here. It tells you the circumstances are too large, the wounds too deep, the time already too lost. And the longer you stay still, the louder that voice becomes. But the moment you stand up, literally stand up and move, you have already answered the lie. Not with words, not with affirmations, with action that your nervous system cannot argue with. Very few people understand this mechanism. Exercise is not just chemistry, endorphins, dopamine, cortisol reduction. It is philosophical proof, delivered to yourself, by yourself, through yourself. It says, I am not helpless. I can still choose. This body responds to my will. Can you feel how different that is from simply thinking positive thoughts? The next realization changes everything. Healing was never meant to be something that happened to you. It was always something you participate in. The Stoics built their entire philosophy on the idea that while you cannot control what happens, you absolutely control how you respond. Physical practice is how you rehearse that response before the real tests arrive. The answer you've been waiting for, the deeper reason all of this connects, is still one lesson away. Don't leave before you hear it. Lesson 6. Imagine the version of you on the other side of discipline. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine 6 months from now. You have moved your body consistently, not perfectly, but faithfully. You walk differently. You breathe differently. When a difficult conversation arrives, you don't collapse inside it. When fear knocks, you open the door calmly. That person still has problems. Life doesn't remove its tests, but that person faces them from a different foundation. A body that has proven to the mind repeatedly that discomfort is survivable. That difficulty is temporary. That you are more than what happens to you. This future isn't fantasy. It is physics. Every deliberate movement you make today is a deposit into the identity you will inhabit tomorrow. The Stoics called the ideal figure the sophos, the wise person who has aligned thought, action, and will into a single undivided force. You become that person not through reading alone, but through doing. Through choosing the harder path when the easier one is right there. What would it mean for your relationships, your work, your peace, if you simply decided to begin? The final 2 lessons bring everything together, and one of them carries a truth almost no one talks about. Lesson 7. The healing was always in the returning. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. But here is the interpretation that changes everything. The strength he referred to was not born in a single moment of insight. It was built in thousands of small returnings, returning to discipline after rest, returning to movement after stillness, returning to yourself after you had drifted away. You will miss days. You will feel unmotivated. The path will feel pointless at times. And those moments are not failures, they are the actual practice. Because Stoicism was never about being perfect. It was about returning without shame, without drama, without negotiation. The healing isn't a destination you arrive at. It is the practice of returning. Every single time you choose movement over avoidance, you are not just exercising your body, you are exercising the deepest muscle you own. The loop that opened at the beginning of this video is about to close. So here is what we have been building toward, the thing most people are never told about physical exercise and healing. You were searching for healing and understanding, in being seen, in finally finding the right words to explain your pain. And those things matter. But the Stoics knew that the body is the first philosopher. It asks no questions. It only responds. And when you move it with intention, it begins to answer the questions your mind has been circling for years. The hidden problem was never weakness. It was disconnection from your body, from your will, from the physical proof that you still have the ability to choose. Every lesson in this video pointed toward the same truth. Movement is not what you do after you heal. Movement is how you heal. We opened with the idea that there is a version of you that is stronger and unbreakable. That person is not far away. They are not a different life away. They are one decision, repeated faithfully, away from you right now. Close all the loops in your own mind. The anxiety, the helplessness, the heaviness, They are not permanent residents. They are guests that stay because no one showed them the door. Physical practice shows them the door every single day. You don't need to be perfect. You need to begin. What lesson from this video spoke to you the most? Drop it in the comments. Your reflection might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this video reached something real inside you, subscribe to Anonymous Achiever. New videos drop on daily basis, and each one is built to give you something worth carrying forward. Leave a like if this shifted your perspective even slightly. It helps more people find this message when they need it most. And watch the next video when you're ready, because the journey we started here continues there. Remember, the strongest version of you was never lost. It was waiting for you to move.